So, of course, today we're talking about the case of Brittany McGlone. On her saying that she was, uh, you know, killed in May 4th, 2007.
Yes, sir.
Just tell me a little bit about, what you understand about this case.
Well, it's been a lengthy time since her passing. We've worked steadily on the case the last few years. When I got in office, we opened it back up. Not that it had ever been closed, but we started putting a lot more time in on it as we could. We still consider it an open case. We still work on it daily. Someone entered the house that she was in, where she was asleep, and murdered her. So we're still working different aspects of it. Each day that we work on it, we come up with a little bit of different stuff. Try to work with the family. They contact us from time to time. I have contact with them. Anything they give us, we try to follow up on any leads that might be there and any other leads that we come up with. Currently trying to resubmit DNA, because we understand over the years that improves, so sending more stuff back in for testing, things of that nature.
Tell me, how long have you been the sheriff here, and how long have you been following this case for?
Been the sheriff here since 2021. This is my second term. I was actually here and an investigator at the time that it took place, so pretty much from day one. The time that I wasn't here, I was chief of police for the city of Quitman for 12 years of that. And so I just kind of kept up with it, wasn't one of the ones working on it. But when I took back over here as sheriff, got elected, we started working on it, pretty diligently. Do we work on it every day? No, because we have a lot of cases that come in that have to be worked on. But this one holds a special place for me to try to figure out and try to help this family out, because we want some answers for them.
I'm just taking some notes while you
Sure.
talk to make it easier for me. So who was all involved in this investigation at the time now?
It varies from time to time. Captain Mike Chilson is one of the investigators on it. He's captain here at the sheriff's office. He's worked on a lot of stuff, a lot of the paperwork issues and things. We've gone through a couple different Texas Rangers. We had one that we were working very close with that retired. We've had a couple others come in since then. We have one now that I've got some meetings scheduled with later this month that we're going to look at some other aspects on the case. He's got some ideas about some things, so we just want to kind of follow through with that. It's various ones, various agencies, anyone that we feel we can reach out to and talk with about it, or anybody that gives us any information. Crime Stoppers has increased the reward for any information leading to an arrest. They're very involved as far as they want to find the answers for this family as well. So I'm sure they would pay out in different aspects of it, I guess is what I'm trying to say, is if somebody gave us some information, it might not lead to a good arrest, but it might lead us to something that's going to lead to that eventually. There's very possible Crime Stoppers would pay out on that as well.
I think I was more concerned about the agencies. I'm guessing Winsboro Police was involved at first.
Wasn't in the city of Winsboro.
Okay.
Yeah, everything happened outside in the county. So, the county has the jurisdiction over it. So as far as agencies, it's Wood County's agency, and then of course with the state would be the Texas Rangers. The AG's office was involved some, but they haven't done very much with us here lately.
2007, we're looking nearly 20 years down the road. I mean, have you ever seen a case to this magnitude, or just kind of something as unique or just mysterious in a way, maybe for lack of better words? Just, have you ever seen anything like this in your time?
I've seen different things along these lines, not necessarily here with us in Wood County, but I think you can look across the nation at cases that are 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 years old get solved after a period of time. A lot of that's because of DNA, or it's because someone has come forward with the information that was needed. that was evidence that they didn't realize was evidence to something, or they find out that a family member was involved in something and they come forward and tell about it. I mean, we see it all the time. It's not a very unusual thing. It's a sad thing that it takes so long for a family to get an answer. And, we want them to have the answers they need. That's our main goal here. We want justice for Brittany, and we want justice for the family, but we also want to help the family put this to rest so that they can rest easier knowing everything was done that could be done and someone's accountable.
I mean, since then, I mean, has there been, and I understand that there has, but I mean, some suspects that we were looking into, I understand Chad Carr, other persons of interest like that. I mean, what all happened there?
Well, Chad Carr was a very good person of interest, actually was arrested for it. You'd have to speak with the district attorney's office to understand why he wasn't indicted. It was presented to a grand jury, and I can't talk to what took place there. But they could probably answer that question for you. I still look at Chad Carr as a suspect. We also look at several others that were involved as a suspect. The information and the evidence we had at the time pointed to him. That's not to say that something couldn't change on that, but my belief is he still was strongly involved in it.
And just for details myself, I kind of skimmed over them over the weekend and talked to the sister and kind of. But Chad Carr was a friend. His girlfriend was a friend of. What was that relationship there?
The girlfriend that Chad Carr had at the time was the sister of Brittany's boyfriend at that time, and she lived there in that house.
Okay. And I mean, just kind of reviewing some of the information that the mother gave me. I understand that she worked kind of 2 jobs, was coming home this evening, usually went home that every evening, but this evening she decided to stay with her boyfriend. It might have been, I believe.
Now, that's what I understand, yes.
And it just was something that wasn't normal, right?
That's what they told us, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I really couldn't speak to that, not knowing the personal lives of them that well.
For sure. I mean, is there anything new in this case that, I know you said you're kind of reviewing some things later this month or whatever it might be. Any new details or anything that makes you re-examine this case and possibly have more?
In the last couple of months, there's been some things that we've kind of overturned and gotten some information on that I believe can help shed some more light on it. I wouldn't want to go into those at this time because I wouldn't want to tip anyone off that might be interested, that might be involved, let's say. So we're kind of keeping that under our hat at the moment. But yeah, there's been several here in the last few months that have come to light that I would say that bear really looking at and digging into.
I mean, I've spoke to family members and they've said very high things about yourself, and I'm glad it's saying how you constantly keep in contact with them. And compared to previous investigators, you're someone that they can always go to and give them a call anytime and just, I guess, chat about things. I mean, why is it so important to you to try and keep involvement with the family and let them know anything that's going on at any time?
I think it's very important to stay involved with the family on any case, especially one like this. They need someone they know that's there fighting for them. And that's what we're doing here at the Sheriff's Office. We're fighting for them. So I try to keep in constant contact with them, let them know what I can let them know. Not everything can be told that we work on, and I think they understand that, and I think it helps them to understand that Brittany hasn't been forgotten. We're not forgetting about Brittany. We know that family doesn't forget about Brittany, and we're here to help them. We mourn this loss with them. I do. And I think it's very important to stay in contact with this family. They're good people. All the times I've dealt with them has just been good. It's sad, because of the circumstances that's brought us together. But they're good folks, and I'm going to continue to fight for them and continue to keep them in the loop. And I think that's a very important thing, is keeping victims in the loop, because that's what they are. They're victims, just like Brittany was a victim.
What has been one of the most challenging aspects to this case in your time of handling it?
Probably some of the biggest challenges you run into is when you're trying to get DNA run and forensic things, so to speak, because it's like anything else, you have to get in line. And being an older case, I don't want to speak for the state or anyone else, but I know that they have priorities that they have to go by. And we try to work, as close as we can with all that. So sometimes that's a frustration. You're reaching out to state or federal agencies trying to get information, and it's a little slow coming sometimes.
So just kind of asking you, I mean, with new information, possibly new technology, do we think that there's someone else at interest for this kind of case, or are we still looking, or is the same suspects the ones that we have a focus on?
Well, in the beginning, we had several suspects. We still have those as suspects, plus we've looked at a couple new people of interest, I would say, that may not necessarily be the culprits, but may have information. And we've got to figure out if they do and what that information is, and see what relevance it has to the case. It may cause more involvement on some other folks than what we originally thought.
Just, I mean, is this something, do you think this case will ever die down, or is this something that you think that will ever not be solved, or we're using all our efforts, basically?
I don't think this will ever be a case that dies down, because we're not going to let it die down. It doesn't need to be forgotten, and it doesn't need to be swept away. I think at some point we're going to get to the answers that we want and the answers that we need to solve this case. I've seen cases where people have been convicted of homicides and they don't even have a body. We know these kind of things take place, so that's why I still have faith. I have faith in God, I have faith in this family, and I have faith that we're going to find the person that did this and bring them to justice.
How is the sheriff's office kind of working alongside the attorney's office, the DA's office? Because from what I understand, like I said, the family has been very grateful for your help, and the sheriff's office and investigators, but they're having a little trouble with the DA's office when it comes to prosecuting, indicting, or whatever it might be, just anything. So how do you guys kind of work together to both please the family?
We're working for the family. It's our job to put all this together and present it to the district attorney's office. You would really need to speak with the district attorney's office to see what's holdups may be there, what doubts they may have there. They've expressed a couple things to us, things they wanted us to look at, and we certainly will look at those, and we have looked at some of those. Once again, when we get things back to a working order of this is who, without a doubt in our minds, is the person, then we're going to present it again, and we're going to see where it goes from there. But I really can't speak for the district attorney's office.
20 years, I mean, like I said, nearly 20 years since the day that happened. Looking forward 20 years, do we expect to have this case closed by then or anything? I mean, it's hard to say, right? So it's the future. No one can tell the future. But
no one can tell the future.
Heart, do you hope?
In my heart, I believe, and I think we will get this case solved. What that time frame is anyone's guess. It could happen tomorrow. It could happen next week. Maybe 2 years from now. But as long as I'm here, we're going to be working on it, and we're going to be working to solve it.
What are you looking for moving forward? Maybe help from community members, any entities, anything, people, community, family. What's going to help give you more information to bring this?
What we're looking for is help from anywhere that it can come from, whether that be citizens in the community. That's where Crime Stoppers comes in with the rewards that they offer. We're hoping that someone will come forward with some good information. Any other law enforcement entities, if they have something that they come across, and that could be anything, just anything that they can give us. The family gives us information all the time, and we certainly follow up on every bit of that, and that's very helpful. If nothing else, it helps to rule things out. And you have to remember that that's part of the job, is we have to look at all of it, and we have to be able to rule certain things out beyond a reasonable doubt, just like we have to be beyond a reasonable doubt to get a conviction on whoever did this.
You might have touched on this already, but just kind of, one last message sharing that, hey, we're doing everything we can, and we're gonna do everything we can to bring whoever made this justice.
Okay. I'll let that quit. It's turned down as far as it will go. So, in our hearts, we know that the suspect's still out there. So therefore, we're not going to give up. We're going to continue to look, search, turn over every stone. We're going to look at every piece of evidence that comes in, and then we'll re-look at every piece of evidence that comes in. Because I believe this case can be solved, and I believe we will solve this case at some point.
What would it mean to you and the family members to finally have this case closed?
I think to us, and especially to the family, if we can finally get this wrapped up and taken care of, I think it will be such a relief, a burden lifted, questions answered, something solved that a lot of people look at and say is not going to happen. We want to do this for this family. Once I said earlier, they need this. They're victims, just like Brittany was a victim, and we need to help these victims. We need to show them that there are people out here that care. There are people out here that are concerned, and they're going to work with us, and we're going to work with them to make this happen. I think we've pretty much covered everything. Nothing's coming to mind right offhand. I think, I would say we know the person's out there somewhere, and we're not going to give up this search until we find that person. For this family, for this community, for this county, we'll continue the search, and we will find them.